Since the day I can remember, I have always been addicted to sugar. I loved eating as a teenager, I loved eating all kinds of different cookies, all kinds of high sugar junk food. And I was doing it right in front of the TV, watching my most favorite TV shows. And it was almost every single day after I had been playing video games for a couple of hours at once. And then, when the night arrived and it was time to go to bed, I was preparing myself to go watch some porn and masturbate to it. This was my life for many years as a teenager. I was unmotivated, I was not happy at all, and I was not enjoying the little things in life anymore. All I was waiting for was I was always looking for the next big dopamine spike, and I was always waiting to just come home from school, turn on my gaming console, and just waste hours and hours every single day. I was not happy at all, I was not enjoying my life at that moment, and I was really becoming a lot just miserable. It went so far that I only saw my family every single day. Mind you, I was living with my family in the same house, but I was only seeing my family for a couple of minutes a day just to eat dinner. That's it. I was always in my bedroom playing video games. I was not planning to achieve anything in my life. I was not planning to achieve anything more than just a job I would hate, and I would have to do this job for the rest of my life. That was my life mission, nothing bigger than just a job I would hate. Fortunately, 2 years ago, I stumbled upon a video which was talking about a dopamine detox. I had no idea what it was back then, but since I watched that video 2 years ago, my life has changed forever. So in this video, I'm going to do my best to share all of my tips and experience with a dopamine detox, so you can achieve the same as me and take back control over your own life. So what exactly is a dopamine detox? A dopamine detox means that you are cleansing your brain from too many high dopamine activities at the same time. Dopamine itself is actually not the problem. The problem is that we stack too many dopamine activities. So dopamine activities are activities that increase your dopamine production enormously, and this will create a peak, a spike in dopamine production. So stacking too many of those high dopamine activities on top of each other at the same time, this will increase our dopamine tremendously. It will make a peak in dopamine production, and afterwards you will get a huge crash in dopamine production, and that's the real problem. In our modern lives, we are constantly flooded with high dopamine activities literally all the time. All those high dopamine activities, they cause big spikes, big peaks in dopamine production, and because we are just indulging in all those activities on a daily basis 24/7, we are getting all these high dopamine peaks also on a daily basis 24/7. Now, the higher a dopamine peak, the lower the crash will be. So because we are on a daily basis getting all these high dopamine peaks, we also get very low crashes of dopamine productions. And this can really give you a feeling of emptiness, boredness, and eventually depression. So let's look at how you can fix this so you can take back control over your own life. Now, a dopamine detox, in my opinion, consists of two major phases: the preparation phase and the execution phase. So let's start with the preparation phase. The first thing you have to do is get a clear why, a clear purpose why you are doing this dopamine detox. Why are you quitting all these high dopamine activities? What are you doing this for? For me personally, it was because I wanted to achieve much more in my life than just wasting all these hours every single day on cheap dopamine activities. I wanted to be my own boss, so I could do something I love for the rest of my life. And I could not achieve this if I just kept distracting myself with all those high dopamine activities, which wouldn't even bring me any joy at all in my life. When you have a clear why, the next thing we need to do is to see what you want to cut out of your life for this dopamine detox. There are 4 main categories. The first one are technology. Some examples are binge watching Netflix, scrolling through social media, playing video games. The second category is cheap and unhealthy sex. Some examples are watching porn, masturbation, and using dating apps like Tinder. Now, the third category is consumables. Some examples of this are junk food, drugs, and alcohol. Then the last and the fourth category is thrill-seeking behavior. Some examples of this are bungee jumping, skydiving, gambling, or just going on a shopping spree. Now, all of these activities increase your dopamine production so much, so they actually create a big spike of dopamine, and that's why they are so addictive. So this is also the reason why we need to do our best to avoid all these activities at all costs during our dopamine detox, because we need to bring back our dopamine production to baseline, to where it was before all of these dopamine addictions. The third category of this first phase, the preparation phase of the dopamine detox, is for how long should you do this dopamine detox. There is no scientific proof for this, but I would suggest do it for at least 7 days, so your brain can actually reset from all the years you've distracting yourself with dopamine activities. At least 7 days, and you can start to build up your way to weeks at a time and eventually do it months at one time. Our second phase of the dopamine detox is the execution phase. Now, from the moment you start to quit all these high dopamine activities, you will be super bored. And once you are really bored, your mind will start working and it will throw all kinds of thoughts and emotions to you. So it's really important, once you are bored, don't distract yourself with anything at all. Just sit through the boredom and try to process every single emotion and thought your brain is throwing at you. The reason why your brain is doing this is because you have been distracting yourself for years and years with all these high dopamine activities. So your brain never got the time to really process the information it gets through the day. So this is why your brain is now throwing everything at once, because it wants to actually start to learn you. It wants to know you, and it wants to process everything that's in here. Now, after a while, those thoughts and those emotions will disappear. It will be much easier. So once you don't have any emotions or thoughts coming to your mind, you actually made the most difficult step in your dopamine detox, and it will be much easier from here on. What you can do now is start to look to replace the high dopamine activities you will quit. Start to look to replace them with good habits that actually move you closer to your goals in life. Some examples for me personally are spending more time with my family, going to the gym, reading books, and just taking walks in nature and only thinking about that present moment and enjoying the moment and nature itself. So to summarize everything we talked about in this video, the most important thing you need to do is to quit all these high dopamine activities, all this addictive behavior. After that, you can replace them with good habits that move you closer towards your goals in life. And most importantly, if you are getting bored, if you are trying to distract yourself, don't do it. Don't distract yourself. Just sit through the boredom and enjoy the present moment. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the content I make sure to subscribe to the channel to help grow the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.